Hello and welcome to Pendant and Ring. In today's jewelry showcase with a twist of history, we have 5 beauties to review, just in time for Valentine's Day. Before we get started, click the like button to let YouTube know you like this kind of video, then click subscribe and the bell to get more videos in your feed. The first coin pendant we have today was minted in Spain in 1750 under the direction of King Ferdinand VI and his beautiful wife, Queen Barbara de Braganza of Portugal. The Spanish Empire was at its height, and Barbara intended to keep the peace with neutrality, unlike her more aggressive mother-in-law, the Queen Dowager Elizabeth Farnese. Despite the policy changes at court, the increasing Protestant powers in Northern Europe and the end of plague in the Ottoman Empire signaled a turn in Spanish fortunes. Following Barbara's death a few years later, King Ferdinand died of a broken heart without an heir. At that time, Charles III inherited the throne. He was Ferdinand's half-brother. Charles resumed Elizabeth Farnese's aims, and she picked up where she left off in the Spanish court. The second coin pendant is from 1932 in Poland. As the European continent tried to survive the Nazi assault, Poland remained true to its 1932 non-aggression pact with the Soviet Union and later the 1934 non-aggression pact with Germany, even when these countries turned on the Polish population. In the 1920s and early 30s, France was Poland's faithful ally, and the French influence in the country is evident in this coin pendant's design. The coin shows a woman in profile, crowned with flowers and surrounded by a halo of wheat. The woman represents the Polish community, dressed in the abundance of agriculture. The model for this coin was of Polish descent, and so people often mistake Lady Poland for the early medieval Polish Queen Jadwiga. This is not the case, except maybe in spirit. 7 of every 10 Polish citizens worked in agriculture as peasants, but the people sought land ownership. In the 1920s and early 30s, Polish citizens voted for agrarianism, which redistributed the land but had the unintended consequence of a more powerful executive branch and a weakened legislative branch. The government's checks and balances eroded, making the nation more vulnerable to strongman tactics from within and without. The coin in this ring is from the Mexico City Mint, made in 1781. You can see the mint mark, an M with an O on top, on the left side of the coin. The coin is a silver half real, and the ring is a size 13. In 1781, 44 settlers from New Spain established a settlement called Los Angeles. They founded it just northwest of the modern I-10 and I-5 intersection. Yet these settlers were not the first people to set up shop in the area. Just across the creek, Yanga was a Tongva village. The village was large and powerful, and the people who lived there called themselves Yangavits. Interestingly, the Tongva name for the City of Angels, Yanga, translates to place of the poison oak. The coin in this pendant was minted in 1897 for the Dominican Republic. The Dominicans were OG pirates back in the day, but during the Second Republic, which began in the mid-1800s, piracy was frowned upon. The descendants of the pirate body found themselves under a dictatorship. In 1897, dictator General Ulysses Herro devalued the nation's paper currency by printing too many notes, thus making the silver-copper alloy coins like this one more valuable. By 1897, the Dominican Republic was the king of sugar. The government saw an opening in the market caused by the 10 Years' War, the U.S. Civil War, and the Franco-Prussian War. International sugar planters and investors wooed Dominican society, and together they took over the international sugar trade. In 1897, the final spike completed over 300 miles of rail line to feed worldwide sugar cravings. Last on today's list is a money clip with a 5 kopecks coin minted in 1776 in Russia. At that time, the Empress Regnant of Russia, Catherine the Great, was at the helm. As a child, she developed a fondness for the French courts, history, and diplomacy. As a teenager, the teachings of Tacitus. In the Russian court, she used her knowledge of courtly life to fill her pockets with generals, admirals, and counts. These loyal allies eagerly helped her on her quest to the throne. Empress Catherine brought Russian enlightenment to her country. She expanded the support of government, built cities, encouraged the arts, and supported growth in the public sector, all for the betterment of her people. She also maintained absolute control of the state and church as a divinely chosen monarch. This juxtaposition made her an enlightened despot. When she heard of the U.S. Declaration of Independence, she immediately supported the cause, placing blame for the split entirely on the British Crown and the mismanagement of British colonies. She also forbade the text from reaching the Russian people as she was wary of revolution. Her hidden motives for support of colonial separatists became evident in the first year after the U.S. Revolutionary War, when she established the first Russian colony in Alaska. That wraps it up for us today. Speaking of wrapping, we offer free gift wrapping in the stores to make gift giving easier on you. Just ask at checkout. Remember, there are links to all the goodies you saw today in the description below. Click the like button, click that subscribe button, and click the bell to receive more Showcase with a Twist of History videos in your feed. See you next time on Pendant and Ring.